It doesn't get much better than melted cheese and some really good bread. So in today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to make classic cheese fondue. The first step is to remove the rind from the cheese. In my recipe, I use 3/4 of a pound of Gruyere and 1/4 pound of Emmentaler. The only other item to prep is a garlic clove, so remove the skin and slice it in half. The next step is to grate our cheese. If you're making a large batch of fondue, I'd suggest using a food processor, but if you're just making a single batch, a hand grater will do just fine. Place your grated cheese in a bowl and add a few teaspoons of cornstarch, then toss everything to combine thoroughly. The cornstarch is going to keep your fondue from lumping up and breaking, so this is a very important step. Don't skip it. Before we heat up our fondue, we're going to slice some bread. It's really important to buy a great baguette. There are only a few ingredients in this recipe, so if you buy something that's not of good quality, it's really going to stand out. Prep that fondue pot by rubbing the inside of it with the garlic cloves that you cleaned earlier. Then add your wine and heat it up to just below a simmer. Add your cheese one handful at a time and stir constantly while doing this. As the cheese melts, continue to add another handful and just repeat the process over and over again until you've used all your cheese. One thing to note here is that you don't want to let your cheese come to a hard boil, so just manage the temperature of the pot accordingly. We're going to finish this fondue off with a little bit of cherry Kirshwasser and some freshly grated nutmeg. For those curious, Kirshwasser is a German brandy distilled from Morello cherries. You can make the fondue without it, but I'd highly recommend picking some up. That wraps it up for today. If you liked what you saw, please hit that like button, take a look at some of my other videos like the one on how to make fresh potato gnocchi, and consider subscribing.